everyone, thank you for joining us and welcome to our webinar. My name is Andrew Townsend. I'm an eLearning Brothers video specialist. Today we're going to be talking about how to be better safe than sorry with customizable courseware training, the customizable safety training that saves you time and money. This webinar will be recorded. We'll get a copy of it sent out to everyone who's in attendance later today. You can show that video to anybody that you'd like. We'll also be posting a copy of this video on our blog later in the week, and you can view it there at any time. If you have questions during the webinar, we'll try to get to those questions. We'll try to get to as many as we can. If we can't get to all of your questions, we'll try to reach out and make sure that any questions you have are answered. Just so you know, one of the things we like to do after the webinar is try to follow up as soon as possible. Sometimes it's just to get feedback. Most of the time we would like to touch base and find out if anybody needs some one-on-one clarification about our topics after the fact. Also, we're going to be giving everyone that is attending a free eLearning Brothers account if you don't already have one, so you can look forward to that coming into your email box. All right, to talk to us about these safety courses, we have Raul Lazo with us today. Thanks for joining us, Raul. And without further ado, I'll go ahead and turn the time over to you, and I'll pass the screen over to you as well.
Awesome, thank you. All right, I'm glad to be here. I'm very excited to chat with you all about our customizable courseware library. I wanted to share a couple things first before going into some of the nitty-gritty details of the safety training. What I like to show first off is some of the, I guess, different aspects of how you can accomplish creating customizable courseware specific to safety needs. So as you can see on our e-learning development spectrum, you have the self-development, templates, customizable courseware, and then canned courseware. And I like to point these out so that you have a good idea of some of the roles, the skills, the responsibilities that a company or an individual need to have in order to accomplish building a course from start to finish. And I'm sure most of you've been doing this for years, so you have a good idea of what that would look like. But this just kind of really gives you a good picture, an overall picture of what you're getting from these courses. And so obviously you have self-development. You see the cost involved, the time. There are obviously benefits in that it's your baby. Obviously, it's something that you're building from start to finish. But you have a lot of skills required. And so, such as SME, graphic design, instructional design. A lot of the people that I talk to are a team of one or two. And so, you know, when building courses like this, it could take some time. And essentially what we try to do is alleviate some of those, some of that workload and provide you a course that will provide that same quality, and at the same time, it's something that's going to be a product that will be yours. But naturally, we have our templates here at eLearning Brothers, which is what most people are familiar with. And I kind of wanted to get an idea here, if you could help me out here, Andrew. How many of you guys and girls here are already subscribed through eLearning Brothers, whether that be our templates or even some of our customizable courseware or even our training arcade?
So I've got that up on the screen. You guys can go ahead and just select right on the screen if you have an active subscription to eLearning Brothers or not. We'll only keep this up for a few minutes. We don't want to get too stuck on this. So I'll give you a couple more seconds, maybe 3 more seconds to vote. And we'll close this out. Now, Raul, do you want this information up on the screen, or do you want me to just tell you that it's exactly 50-50?
50-50, okay. Perfect. Well, that gives me a good idea of, you know, who we have out there. A lot of you, obviously, that have been with us for a while have a good idea of how this works. But yeah, our templates are designed to minimize those skills and, you know, speed up development time so that you're able to focus on subject matter and build, you know, to specific needs. And then obviously you have custom. You know, if we have something that or if there's a subject out there specific to safety training that would need to be, that I guess that you have a timeline on, we can create something like that. The price tag is a little bit higher, obviously, but it's something that we create for you from start to finish, so you get to kick your feet back up and have a good quality product in your hands, hopefully within the next 4 to 6 weeks. Which brings us to our customizable courseware library. And so, you know, I just got back from DevLearn. I spoke with a lot of people who have used canned courseware before in the past, And I want to really kind of distinguish the difference here between the two. And with those customers that I talked with, safety training, obviously it's a mandatory thing for most companies, and it's obviously very important for a variety of reasons. And so that being said, when it comes to canned courseware, it's hard to find courses for companies that's a one-size-fits-all. I mean, you can have the best milkshake in the world, but if you're lactose intolerant, that's not going to work for you. And so the same kind of applies with courseware and safety training. You know, a company that works in manufacturing is going to have different needs and there's going to be different requirements that need to be met with courses than someone that works in a different industry. And so when buying a course like, say, forklift safety, there's going to be some things that will need to be tweaked up. And so it's impossible to build a one-size-fits-all or a course that fits 100% for your needs. But our goal here with our customizable courseware library is to find something that is as close to as 100% as possible. And so what we do is provide you a source file with our customizable courseware library so that you can meet those needs, so that it's meeting the specifications and requirements of your organization. And so whereas a canned courseware might be difficult to meet those needs, hopefully you have something that's a quality product in terms of the design and functionality, but now you have something that's completely branded for your team, for your organization. And so there are some drawbacks, obviously. Because there are no customizations, you can't brand the courses with canned courseware. It lives on an external LMS, and obviously we're paying per learner. Whereas our customizable courseware library, you own a source file. It's unlimited to your team, as you can see on the screen, and it's again once again it's branded specific to you, and it's a course obviously that can be altered, and at that point you're adding whatever value you want to these courses. But as you can see, and as I've mentioned, you have a source file. So with our safety training courses, we are not only providing you a source file to Captivate, Storyline, and Lectora, but we're also providing you the InstructorLed Training materials. That's powerful and useful for many companies because this is something that they're still doing live in a classroom setting. And so you can kind of get the best of both worlds and use the e-learning course, the InstructorLed Training, to kind of reinforce what was already, depending on what's presented first. But it's again something that will allow you to reinforce your training and also, you know, kind of customize and brand to your needs as far as the InstructorLed Training material is concerned as well. But so you have an idea of what we have kind of on the plate right now. These are the 12 courses that we are working on. And we're hoping on having these completed by the end of the year. But it doesn't stop there. We are planning to hopefully build as many up to 70. It could be a little bit less. It could be a little bit more. And so I'd love to chat with you all and find out what kind of needs you have, what courses that you're looking on building, you know, from now up until the end of the year, or even up until as we roll on to next year. We have a variety of different subjects. And so, you know, we definitely want to see what we can do to meet some of those needs as well. But at the end of the day, a course like machine guards, you have courses that are built specific to, or at least I should say, we are following the OSHA non-mandatory training curricula guidelines. So as far as the subject matter is concerned, you know, we have a team here that focuses specifically on, excuse me, on these subjects. So as far as, you know, the quality of content that's being provided, I feel in most of the companies that I've talked to in the past, I've been very well pleased with what's being provided. And at the end of the day, they can kind of add the spice to those courses, you know, to their needs, so they can swap out and plug in certain language and certain things that might need to be met on your end versus, you know, a different company.
So there's a quick question that's come up here. The question is, do you have a general course that is just basic safety in the workplace, like for offices, or is it only for you know, more specific things?
So I know that we have topics on workplace attitude and a few other things that might be that would fit those needs. I would have to kind of check with the team. A lot of them are just kind of more geared towards, I guess, an environment where I guess manufacturing type settings that are avoiding injuries and things like that to a higher degree. But there are some other things, and I'll show those list of courses that we have here at the end that might suit those needs geared to a different industry. But great question. I definitely want to make sure that we can get that answered.
I did just get feedback from one of our developers that said general safety and safety attitudes are on the radar. They're in development, but they're not yet published, so you won't see them on this list yet.
Right. So again, these are the 12 courses that we have kind of in the queue right now. But and I want to go in later and chat about some of the pricing and things like that. We have some early bird discounts, and with some of these courses that we don't have in the queue, but we plan on possibly creating as well. If that was something that you were interested in, we would bump those up in the queue and get those completed to you as soon as possible. But these are kind of the ones that we've just pulled, and I guess we're high priority for us at the moment. But if that were something that you were to purchase beforehand, we would go ahead and bump those up in the queue and get those completed for you. Typically anywhere between 4 to 8 weeks, somewhere around there. But so yeah, what I wanted to do, obviously the goal here at eLearning Brothers is help create eLearning rock stars, and we do that by providing you the source file so that you can customize and brand, and then you're able to walk away with all the credit. And so as you can see here, we have a few different courses that we've already completed, and I wanted to look at forklift safety right here real quick so you have an idea of the level of interaction we bring to the table. And that's essentially what we try to do our best on, is create a training module that, in where your learner is going to have retained the most amount of information, keep them engaged, and make sure that it's not kind of just reading one page and going to the next. We definitely want to make sure that they understand there's a few pit stops here and there that they need to kind of and so that they know that they have to pay attention to what they're reading. And so I'm just kind of skimming through here so you have an idea of what some of these things look like. And again, you can kind of create this to your own liking. You can swap out the logos, you can change the colors, font styles, insert new images, cut out characters. You can plug in new games, quizzes, interactions. And that kind of plays hand in hand with some of the resources that we have here at eLearning Brothers, such as our template library, our cutouts, and things like that. So it definitely allows you to tweak this up and make things, I guess, customized to your team and your organization. But I wanted to get one more question out there. As far as the courses, I want to have an idea of what you're currently doing right now as far as safety is concerned. Are you guys purchasing off the shelf courses? Are you building internally? Or have you purchased, just never used?
All right, so that information is there up on the screen. You can go ahead and click right on the screen to select what you're currently doing or what you've done in the past. So, have you ever used off-the-shelf training courses or purchased them and never got around to using them because they just didn't quite match what you needed? Or maybe you just say no because they just aren't meeting your needs. So I'll give you guys a few more seconds to vote there. Maybe 3 more seconds here, and I'll close those out. All right, so Raul, I'm looking at those results. There's 63% that are saying no, 31% says yes, they have purchased them, and 6% say they've purchased them but never used them.
Awesome. Okay. So it looks like this is definitely a new concept to some, and that's who we specifically try to target, because you're either probably building in-house or maybe you're buying custom. So if that's the case, there's definitely a high ROI for those who are building it internally, in that you're able to save X amount of hours per course and X amount of dollars as well. But the goal here is to make sure that everyone wins, not only your organization in that they're able to save a certain amount of dollars per course, but also for yourself, that you're able to save yourself hours that will allow you to focus on other projects as well. And also for your learner, we want to make sure that they have great e-learning training modules, something that's going to bring a different level of engagement and retention. And so at the end of the day, being able to, looks like I got all those wrong. Perfect, but that just kind of goes to show obviously the functionality of this. Everything's built, everything's whole, it's ready to use, it's ready to be plugged into your LMS if you wanted to use it as is. But again, you can kind of put your own little touch to it and make this product yours. So for some of you that used it before in the past and it just didn't work for you, I mean, that could be for a variety of different reasons. But if just the subject matter didn't apply or the courses just weren't up to par, this is something that will allow you to have a starting point, far more than just a starting point. But again, make this product whole, make it yours. But so yeah, now that we've had a chance to look at some of these courses, what questions are out there, Andrew?
There's a question out here asking about ILT. Do they get only e-learning, or do they also get some instructor-led training that they can use in the classroom if they need to?
That's a great question. So yeah, so you will have both. We will give you both access to the instructor-led training material and the e-learning courses. And so you can choose as far as, depending on what authoring tool you're using. They're built in Captivate 2017, Storyline 3 and 360, Lectora Online. So you're able to choose whatever source file you want, plus the instructor-led training material. So with the instructor-led training material, we'll provide the facilitator guide, the workbook guide, the PowerPoints as well. So you can go in there, tweak things up as well, and just provide a blended approach for your organization. Awesome. Any other questions right now? Okay, perfect. So yeah, right now you can go on our website and check out some of the customizable courseware products that we have for safety. You can check them out and look at a quick little intro of these. What I typically like to do is follow up with everyone and answer any questions they might have, set up a quick time for a demo to look at some of the other courses. But as far as forklift safety is concerned, here is kind of a breakdown of what you get once you purchase one of these courses. So as you can see here, the different source files, quick course description, obviously features and the ILT files included and software requirements. So you can go in there and go get a little tour of what these courses look like and obviously the design, color scheme and whatnot, and just kind of get an idea of how this would fit for your team and some of the work that would have to be put in on your end to customize and brand this a little bit better. And one of the things that I encourage customers to do is go on the website, and for some of these courses that we have already completed, we have a general breakdown of what each course entails, some of the subject matter provided, and what your participant should know after completing these courses. So with forklift safety, as you can see, identifying how forklifts work, and so on and so forth. So this is a really good introduction to have when you're making a decision on which courses you think would be best for you to purchase. This gives you a general breakdown without having to go through each and every one of the courses. But at the end of the day, we definitely want to make sure that once we set up a time to meet and chat, that you have the option to join my screen, look through some of these courses, ask questions, and make sure that this is going to be a good product that's going to fit for your team. And obviously we can go from there on figuring out what kind of pricing would work best for you guys. But again, there are additional features here that we've created to kind of complement the courseware library as opposed to our soft skills before in the past. You have a full transcript in Microsoft Word that will allow you and your legal and compliance team to kind of go in there and make simple changes to this. so that it meets, you know, your standards. The benefit to that is we also have that that this transcript is screen reader ready, so it allows you to enable this course to become more 508 compliant. And so that's a question that I get asked frequently, and it was something that we went back to our team to make sure that we could accommodate those people as well, so that it's something that you guys are, again, having to something that it's allowing you to save more time in customizing and branding it just that much more for your team and for your audience. But again, the goal here, as we kind of wrap up on some of these things, I want to at the end open some time up to everyone else and see what other questions you have. But the goal here is for your team to win, for your organization to win, but also for you to walk away looking like the eLearning Brothers rock star. We want to make sure that you can go home and take all the credit for what was built. And so because you have this source file, it allows you to add whatever value you want to these courses. And so once you're able to save yourself 180 hours of development time, or excuse me, 80 hours in e-learning development time, and you know, 20 hours in storyboarding, and then being able to roll out a course like Forklift Safety in a matter of, you know, weeks, we want to make sure that that you're able to not only save that time, but also provide your learner a quality e-learning course where it's going to, you know, hopefully walk away with a different level of retention. That's essentially what eLearning Brothers brings to the table, is a course that has a variety of interactions, drag and drops, click to reveals, knowledge checks, and things of that nature. And so again, we want to make sure that you can add your spice to it so that you have a course that now is 100% fitting your needs. And so because you have a source file, it's a course that can never essentially outdate itself, as long as you're going in there every so often, every 6 months to a year, just kind of plugging in the subject matter that would be most relevant for your team, whatever's been updated through OSHA, you can go in there and update it. And then also just kind of tweaking things up with courses as needed. So at the end of the day, now we've protected our investment in when you purchased one of these courses versus purchasing an off-the-shelf product that, again, is not meeting your needs, and then 2 or 3 years down the road you realize this wasn't the right fit for us. Now we've spent X amount of dollars and didn't receive great ROI out of this. So again, because we have a course that it's unlimited to your learners, it's also a one-time purchase up front. You won't be paying per learner as well. So it definitely works in your favor in that we're not paying for something monthly as well. So once you add up those factors, obviously the savings and the courses speak for itself, and what's going to be a good option for you. And so if we could sit down and chat a little bit, answer some more questions for some of you that are interested, we definitely want to make sure that this is going to be a good fit for you. And if it's a good fit, we definitely want to figure out what we can do to get this set up for you as soon as possible. But so yeah, a quick little webinar that we had today. I kind of wanted to just go over the a basic intro of the customizable courseware and how it benefits the developer here, the person who has the projects here up within the next couple weeks or couple months, or as we roll on to next year. And I definitely want to make sure that we can open up or reach out to you, set up a time for a Q&A, and go in more in depth and look at some of these courses that will fit the needs as we roll into next year.
Now, just like Raul said, this has been kind of a high level, just grazing over of these customizable courseware. It's kind of a 5,000-foot view. So by all means, give us a call. We're happy to answer your specific questions, see how they're going to work in your organization, in your workflow, and we would be happy to have those discussions. So there's that information there up on the screen. Raul, which one of these do you want them to call? Do you want them to call the...
So the direct line is going to be 801-854-5173. That's going to be the best number to reach me at. And then obviously I'm available by email as well, rlazo@elearningbrothers.com.
Excellent. So those are the two best ways to reach Raul. He's happy to take your questions, and he'll make sure to answer all the questions that you guys have. So thank you for joining us. Thanks, Raul, for your time, and we'll see you all next time.
See ya.